on it.
We stopped water.
That's great, but
Make it stop.
kill them all.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2024 comedy horror Crazy House. The film is co-written and directed by Stefan Haas and Flip van de Kuel, and it stars Nick Frost, Alicia Silverstone, Jan Bilveit, Gate Jansen and Walt Klink. Okay, how to describe this film? We have the Christian family. They are living in a sitcom life, I suppose. Their life is filmed before a TV studio audience. You've got their dad, Bernie, played by Nick Frost, who's deeply religious. You've got the workaholic mom, played by Alicia Silverstone, and the two perfect or not so perfect kids. They are then visited by three Russians who are very keen to do some work at the house, and when they are called in to do some repairs, they take over the house essentially and hold them hostage. Eventually, they spiral into madness, and Bernie in particular has a religious encounter and turns a little bit homicidal. Yeah, right. That's the best way I can describe this film, guys, because honestly, while watching this film, and this doesn't happen a lot, while watching this film, all I kept thinking is, how on earth am I supposed to review this? It is one side of the coin really terrible, and the other side of the coin quite creative and inventive. And there's no real happy medium here, unfortunately. It certainly didn't feel like that for me. I can imagine people watching this and absolutely wondering what the hell they're watching. It's bizarre beyond belief. It really, really is bizarre. And it's not an easy watch because of that, because it just doesn't make any damn sense. Any way you look at this, any way you choose to look at this and analyse this film, doesn't make any sense. It might have made more sense if it wasn't for the damn sitcom thing and a live studio audience there. They could just be a really weird and wacky family that's kind of been taken hostage by these Russians for reasons. And that would have been bizarre enough in regards to how the characters are. But it's just so hard to get your mind around this film. And obviously it's done on purpose. Obviously they've done it to kind of mess with the audience. I don't know a lot about these filmmakers. Apparently this is their first English language film. I'm not sure if are they Dutch. I'm not actually sure. I don't know. I'm only speculating where they're from, but basically I'm not familiar with their work. And I'm all for creativity and originality when it comes to any genre. I'm all up for that, and I'm a big champion of that, because I don't want to sit and watch the same films over and over again, just the same blueprint, vomited out endlessly by different filmmakers on different genres. I like something different, and I like it when a film can subvert your expectations or completely try and blow your mind. But this one, it doesn't do that, even though it's trying to do it, if that makes sense. It's trying to absolutely blow your mind. But what it gives you is just this really odd film that gets to the point where it becomes obscenely violent and over the top. But it does it. It feels like for effect. Again, I'm one of these. I don't mind violence in films if it's done in service of the film. You know, if it's just done gratuitously, just for violence sake, I'm not really keen on it. And this is kind of falling into that category. It just feels like it's trying to be violent and over the top for the sake of it. And it doesn't feel like it's doing anything for the film. For me, the over the top violence. But there is interesting things here, you know, the whole Bernie thing, Bernie played by Nick Frost, who's deeply religious. The film plays around with him slowly questioning his beliefs and losing faith. And he even has conversations with Jesus, for goodness sake. It shows the level of madnesses that he's falling into. And that, for me, was far more interesting. That I think they should have experimented with that a little bit more. And they don't. And for me, the film is supposed to be a comedy horror. It's zany, it's wacky, it's bonkers, but it ain't funny. At all. I don't remember finding it funny. I thought the concept of the sitcom thing was stupid and a bit daft, but it wasn't funny. It was like the worst kind of sitcom you could imagine. And again, I understand that that's the point. It's poking fun at sitcoms. But it's trying to say something at this film. What it's trying to say, I think it just doesn't do a good job of doing it in any way, shape or form. The film just... It's a chore. It's a chore because, like I say, you just find the whole thing frustrating to watch. The characters are frustrating. It's nonsensical. The violence, as I've said, for me is over the top and doesn't do service to the film. And the whole thing, when it ends, you just kind of like, you genuinely do think, well, that's time I'm never going to get back. It was odd at best. Now, normally Nick Frost, I mean, I actually thought Nick Frost was maybe going to elevate this, you know, because he's usually great at everything. And they just don't use Nick Frost properly in this film at all. Well, they don't use anybody in this film. I mean, Alicia Silverstone's in this film, and God, do you remember her? She's given nothing really interesting to do in this film. So this is probably the most bizarre film I've seen this year. And I've seen a couple of bizarre ones. It's a hard film to recommend, this one, because I just don't know who this film's for. Who is this film made for? It's not funny, so therefore the comedy bit's not there. The horror bit's there, but it's way over the top and overly violent, in my opinion, just for sake of it. So it doesn't do anything like it should be doing. It's just a real oddity, this one. It really, really is. Give it a go. It might tickle your funny bone. It might, give you what you want from it. I'm just saying it just didn't do it for me. And as an original piece of comedy horror, okay, it's definitely doing that and doing it pretty well. But beyond that, it's not doing anything, in my opinion. So I just didn't like this one, guys, is what I'm trying to say. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I definitely hope you found it useful, and I will, of course, be back with plenty more content on the channel very, very soon.